I'm going to take the mastery challenge. There are 6 questions in this challenge, so let's begin. Marvin, Martian, Eli, Alien, and Hank, Human are all looking for a hidden spaceship. Their probabilities of finding the spaceship first are as follows. P, Marvin wins, equals 30%. P, Li wins 0.2, which is 20%, because 0.2 is 20 hundredths. It's 2 tenths, which is also 20 hundredths, which is 20%. And P, Hank wins, the probability that Hank wins is 1/2, which is 50 hundredths, which is 50%. So the list, we need to put the following events in the order from least to most likely. So least likely is Li. Okay, this is list. So it's in the right place. Marvin is second. And Hank wins is most likely. Because he has a 50% chance of winning. So Li with 20%, Marvin wins has 30% probability, and Hank wins has 50% probability. Let's check. Good. An electric company charges a certain rate per kilowatt hour of electricity used and an administrative fee of $3.50. The company charged Zhao $63.25 for using 800 kilowatts of electricity. Zhao uses the equation 63.25 equals 800 R plus 350 to represent the situation. Okay, so R represents the rate per kilowatt hour. The rate per kilowatt hour is R, so it pays 800 times the rate per hour, and then it needs to add 350 as administrative. Okay. So the charge per kilowatt hour is the correct answer. It does not represent the number of kilowatt hours because 800 is the number that represents the number of kilowatt hours that are used. And here they say the amount of total charge that depends on the number, of kilowatt hour used. No, it's not the total charge. It's the charge per kilowatt hour. Okay. Next question. Minus 100% plus 0.58 equals, okay, so minus 100% is the same as minus 1 plus 0.58 equals, okay, so one number is negative, the other is positive. So the answer is the difference between the two numbers, and the answer is negative because the negative number is greater than the positive one. So the difference between 1 and 0.58 is 0.42, because to complete from 58 to 1, you need to add 42 hundredths, right? 1 minus 0.58, so this becomes 0 and this becomes 10. Now this becomes 9 and this becomes 10. 10 minus 8 is 2, 9 minus 5 is 4, so 0.42. That's the difference, and the difference is into negative because minus 1 is greater than 0.58. So the answer is 0.42. Enter the answer in hexadecimal or simplified fraction. So it can be either 0.42 or minus 0.42 or minus 42 hundredths. Juanita and Nina are bowling together. The probability of Juanita getting a strike next game is 24%. The probability of Nina getting a strike next game is 0.17. Which of these events is more likely? Choose one answer. Juanita gets a strike next game. Yes, because Nina's chance are 0.17, which is the same as 17 hundredths, which is the same as 17%. 17 hundredths are 17 out of 100%. So it's 17%. So Juanita has a greater chance of getting a strike. So it's more likely that Juanita gets the next strike. Nina gets to say next strike is less likely. So this is incorrect. And it's not equally likely because Juanita has a greater chance of getting the next game. So A is the correct answer. Match each equation to the situation it represents. An adult and 5 children rent skates. It costs $4 per adult for skates and a total of $16. Okay, so an adult and 5 children. Okay, so the 4 here can represent the cost per adult plus 5 children times an unknown cost, because we don't know, we do know that there's 1 adult and 5 children. We know the cost per adult, which is $4, plus 5 children times, we don't know the cost per child, so 5 times x, and the total is 16. So this correlates with this equation. Okay, it costs Michael $4 to make to buy a bag. Sorry, it costs Michael $4 to make a bike bag, and he sells each for $5. He has made a profit of $16 so far. Okay, so that's the amount he sells each bag. He sells each bag for $5. $4 represents the cost of making the bag. So for each bag, he has a profit of $1. $5 revenue, the amount that he gets from the buyer, minus the cost of making. So he has net profit of $1 per bag, per one bag. But we don't know how many bags he sold. So X represents the number of bags he sold. And we know that he made $16 so far. Okay, so he sold X equals 16. 1 times X is 16. So he sold 16 bags. So this situation correlates to this equation. So it was 16 degrees Celsius. It began falling 4 degrees Celsius per hour until it reached 5 degrees Celsius. Okay, so it began at 16. It began falling 4 degrees Celsius per hour. So X here represents the number of hours until it reached 5 degrees Celsius. So let's solve this. 16 minus 4x equals 5. So we need to isolate the x. So first we will subtract, x represents the number of hours it took until it fell from 16 degrees Celsius to 5 degrees Celsius. So to isolate the x, we first subtract 16 from both sides of the equation. So here we are left with minus 4x equals 5 minus 16. Okay, so minus 4x equals 5 minus 1 is positive, the other is negative. The result is the distance between them, or the difference between them. So 16 minus 5 is 11, and the result is negative because minus 16 is the greater between these two numbers. Okay, so minus 4x equals minus 11. So I need to divide both sides of the equation by minus 4 to get x. So So this situation correlates with this equation. So x here represents the number of hours it took the temperature to fall from 16 degrees Celsius to 5 degrees Celsius. So this equals 2 hours. So 4 goes into 11 twice, and we have 3/4, 3/4. 3/4 of an hour. 2 hours and 3/4 of an hour. So 2 hours and 45 minutes. It took the temperature to fall from 16 degrees Celsius to 5 degrees Celsius. Okay, so $4 go and 5 children, and here, okay, so this is the correct order. Good. $7/4 minus 1.76. Enter the answer as an exact decimal or simplified fraction. Okay, so 7/4, and if I translate it to a decimal, so it can be 4 times 25 is 100, 7 times 25 is 25 times 7 is 35, 7 times 2 is 14, plus 3 is 17. So this is 175 over 100, correct? 35 plus 140, right. So this is 1.75, 175 hundredths is 1.75 minus 1.76. So one is positive, the other is negative. So the answer is the difference between the two, and the answer is negative because 176 is greater than 175. The answer is minus 0.01. 0.75 minus 1.76. The answer is the difference, so we can subtract 176 minus 175, and we get 100. And the 100 is in the negative because 176 is greater than 175. So the answer here is minus 0.01. Good. Thank you for watching. Okay, so this was a mastery challenge, and I took it before I have completed this section, this unit, rates and proportional relationships. And now I'm going to move on to this unit, expressions, equations, and inequalities. So in the next video, I'm going to take this practice, combining like terms with negative coefficients. So I will see you in the next video.